All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Pokemon. In this video, I want to talk about the latest Metazoo announcement, or the teaser, I guess, that there's going to be some kind of kids meal partnership with none other than ARBY'S. So today on Discord, Metazoo tweeted out, or not tweeted out, but posted at everyone ARBY'S, and then ARBY'S tweeted on Twitter just Metazoo game. So prior to this, the reason why this is so interesting is because in one of my Topps Chrome streams, when I was opening like a bunch of blaster boxes of Topps Chrome, Mike Waddell was in the chat, and Mike said that sometime this year they're going to be doing a partnership with a major fast food chain. And then just today, the 1st of May, they announced, I think this is kind of like the soft launch announcement, that it's going to be with ARBY'S. And it's interesting they did it the 1st of May, because I think that might mean they're going to do it this month. When Mike kind of teased that in the chat, I thought maybe it meant 2024, maybe the end of the year, maybe something just in the works that hasn't quite been ironed out yet. But it seems like it might be in the very near future, because I thought it was weird that ARBY'S would actually tweet out Metazoo games this early, unless they're going to be doing something in the very near future. So this got me curious. I started doing a little bit of research, especially on past ARBY'S kids meals. What can we expect from this Metazoo games collab? Obviously, it's going to be a kids meal collab, probably a promo card associated with it, because pretty much everything Metazoo does, there's a promo card associated with it. But I don't think it's going to be just a promo card. That's not really what ARBY'S does. ARBY'S doesn't have a track record of doing just trading card promos like McDonald's does with Pokemon. And Metazoo's not Pokemon, right? Metazoo is a much smaller, much more niche trading card game. So just advertising that they've got a card probably isn't going to do it, right? So there's got to be a trade-off. So what's the sell for ARBY'S to have Metazoo, and what's the sell for Metazoo to be involved with ARBY'S? Obviously, for Metazoo is to attract a wider audience, and it's not going to be achieved through just handing out a card, because the people that are going to want the card are people that already know what Metazoo is. So there's got to be something else. There's got to be a toy associated with it to get interest, and then the card is probably going to come with the toy, and then that's going to be kind of the hook with the bait on it. The toy and then the card. And then whoever, the kid, when they get the toy, they look at the card, they say, what's this Metazoo thing? And they might investigate further. But I feel like there's got to be the toy as the hook, and the card is kind of the bait on the end of that hook. So I did a little bit of research, and it got my hopes a little bit low for this Metazoo ARBY'S thing. So the reason why is I kind of looked at ARBY'S track record for the recent years of ARBY'S kids meals and the toys associated with them. And honestly, it wasn't great. ARBY'S is not exactly the Rolls Royce of kids meal toys. In fact, they're probably one of the worst and laziest. And no offense to ARBY'S, but I was looking at some of these recent ones, and there seems to be a very noticeable pattern with some of the recent releases. So a big one recently was Sonic the Hedgehog. Obviously, you had both these Sonic movies in recent years, and they did a Sonic the Hedgehog one where the toy was basically 2 circles, and the circles were like just plastic discs, very standard. They're layered on top of each other, and they slide apart with stickers on them to expand to show a full character. You guys can see that on screen here. So, okay, Sonic the Hedgehog, probably anything related to Sonic the Hedgehog with those characters depicted on it is probably going to do well, right? Okay. So, a couple years prior to that, this was like 2019, they did Fruit Ninja. You guys remember the app from like 10 years ago in 2012, Fruit Ninja, where you slice the fruit on the screen. They did that, and they did the same thing. These stickers on discs, plastic discs, and they just invented little Fruit Ninjas. They just put pictures of fruit on them. Okay, so 2 times they did this. Then recently they did another one. I don't even know the name of whatever this line was, but same thing. 2 plastic discs, stickers on them. Really probably the cheapest route you could go for a toy. Not even a 3D toy, not even a figure, just 2 discs and stickers. Then they recently did another one called Shovel Knight. This was relatively recently, and that was, I guess that was like a Nintendo Switch game or something. I wasn't really familiar with what it was. But again, plastic discs that they advertise as tokens with stickers on them, and the discs launched. They also did Cuphead recently, and Cuphead was like, you could turn your trash, basically. It was like origami. You could do origami to make a Cuphead figure, but also a plastic disc with a blaster. So they've done some niche things, like Cuphead is kind of niche, and whatever this Nintendo Switch game was, the Shovel Warriors or whatever it was, that was kind of niche. I'd never heard of that before. Sonic, obviously much bigger. Fruit Ninja, just kind of a weird one. They also did another one with Just Dance, which I believe is a Wii game. Again, kind of a old school reference, but that was recently as well. I believe it was 2021. And again, just kind of a stand-up figure with a plastic disc for a head and then a sticker as the face. So very, like, as cheap as possible toys, basically with just as cheap as possible stickers on them, is what Arby's has been doing lately. So if I had to guess, based on this pattern, you would have the Metazoo characters, Mothman, Bigfoot, Sinkhole Sam, Piazza Bird, probably just as stickers on discs with a promo card associated with it. And the reason I say that is because when I first heard this announcement, I got really excited. I was like, maybe we're going to get like little, teeny beanie babies. We might get little tiny plushes of Metazoo characters in a kid's meal. Or we might get tiny little plastic 3D figures of Metazoo characters and beasties in a kid's meal. That would be really cool because we haven't really gotten much like that on a mass-produced scale from Metazoo yet. But then I realized, one of the main criticisms of Metazoo has been they tend to overpromise and underdeliver. A lot of these drops sound really, really good. These collabs, they sound really, really cool. But there has been this track record where it hasn't been delivered on time, or maybe it's late, or maybe the supply isn't there. There's always some kind of a catch. There's always some kind of a setback of some kind. And that's always this criticism that I see over and over again with some of these Metazoo projects is overpromise, underdeliver. So when I see that Metazoo is going to be doing a fast food chain thing, a kid's meal, immediately your imagination goes wild. It's going to be 3D toys. It's going to be plushies. It's going to be like something really cool that's going to really deliver Metazoo to the mainstream. Then I thought about the fact that it's Arby's. I haven't eaten Arby's in probably over half a decade. It's not Burger King. It's not McDonald's. Arby's probably doesn't have the same kind of marketing budget, which I would assume is what these toys fall under, as a bigger chain like that. And looking at their track record of the past 3 years with these plastic disc toys, they probably just ordered 1 billion plastic discs from China in all different colors, and they probably got these sitting in a warehouse somewhere. And whenever they do a new brand collab, they probably just print new stickers for these plastic discs and package them up and send them out. And that's probably the cheapest possible way to make a kids meal toy, is they probably just bought this massive bulk lot of these discs and they're just putting different stickers on them, would be my guess. So for them to collab with a niche company like Metazoo, I would expect that that's probably the route they're going to do. They're probably not going to invest a bunch of money, and I don't really know how that works, to be honest. If they were to do some more a more premium toy with Metazoo, would Metazoo pay some of that cost to produce and distribute those toys? Because on one hand, that's like advertising for Metazoo, because they're getting into this big fast food chain. If they deliver a really cool product, a really premium toy, that's going to attract a lot of people to the brand. So maybe if Metazoo, I don't know exactly how that works, but my suspicion would be they're taking a chance on this Metazoo thing. Like I said, it's very niche. It's not very well known. It's popular amongst the people that like it, but for Arby's, it's pretty niche. So my guess would be they're not going to be taking a huge risk on Metazoo, and my guess would be they might go this really cheap plastic sticker route. And hopefully you do get I would assume there'd be a promo card that maybe Metazoo would provide to go with that, and then you've got a nice little packaged card and really cheap toy. That would be my guess. So also, Mike was teasing in that same chat that this year there's going to be a collab, a Topps collab. So he already announced that there's going to be Topps Nightfall Sapphire coming around Halloween this year. But he also said there's going to be a Topps collab with a major IP, kind of insinuating that it's like a sports collab. And Mike has said in the past that one of the things that he wanted to explore was like taking famous athletes and then their favorite cryptid and having both the athlete and the cryptid on the card. So I think that's probably the direction that Topps is going. And I'm not as familiar with sports cards to know if there's a set that has, I know there's baseball cards, football cards, hockey cards, etc. I don't know if there's a set that has like a bunch of like different sports in one set. Like if you have a set that has some top baseball, football, and hockey players all in one set. I don't know if that's a thing that exists, but is there a product like that exists where they could have, a top NBA guy who likes Mothman and a top baseball guy who likes Bigfoot and just combine those all into one set? Or would it be more likely that it would be something like the WWE, where you got all these different characters in WWE, and they could just pick a favorite cryptid to put on the card? I don't know, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What are your theories for this Arby's drop? What are your theories for the Topps and Major IP Metazoo collab? What do you think that's going to be, and what are your expectations? How high is your bar set for this Arby's thing? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Nick Strength and Pokemon, signing out.